How you spend your mornings will influence the state of your nervous system for the rest of your day. And how we live our days is how we live our lives. As I like to say, tell me what you do in the morning and I will tell you how regulated your nervous system is. A regulating daily morning routine gives your nervous system a message of calm and safety, and it reacts to calming environments and familiar habits. For me personally, a regulating morning routine is the basis for my entire life, and I'm not kidding. But even minor good habits can have a profound effect on your nervous system. Now, there are awesome benefits of priming for a regulated nervous system, especially in the morning. For one, it reduces overall stress and anxiety and therefore helps you feel more grounded and calm and connected. It also improves your emotional capacity so you're less reactive. It also enhances focus and concentration, something we probably all need more of. And lastly, it increases your energy levels in a way that you can sustain them throughout the day. Now, before we get into my tips, if you're new here, my name is Conni Biesalski. I'm a somatic coach, a trauma practitioner, a breathwork and meditation teacher, and also a nervous system specialist. And on this channel, we explore tools and strategies to help you regulate your nervous system, process your emotions, and come home to your body. So here are my favorite morning rituals for a regulated nervous system. Tip number one is to do a 3-part check-in with yourself and your body. You can do this when you're still in bed or when you're brushing your teeth or while you're sitting down for your morning beverage. It really doesn't have to take long, maybe just a minute or so. The invitation here is to check in with your body and listen to its signals and messages and sensations. So you might ask yourself, how is my general awareness, my internal state today? How is my body feeling? Is there any tension present, any constriction or pressure and tightness? And what emotions or sensations can you be aware of? What does your body and nervous system need to go about the day ahead of you? And how can you support them as you go about your day? And then the invitation is to adjust your day accordingly. So for example, if you had a really stressful day yesterday, and you actually had a gym session on your schedule for this morning, but your body's feeling tight and exhausted and tired, you might want to skip the gym session and take it easy. Maybe do gentle yoga. Maybe if you can, integrate a yoga nidra session in the afternoon or in the evening. So instead of overriding the signals and messages from your body, how can you listen to your body and actually give it what it needs? Tip number 2, and this is something that I got from my wife and I absolutely love it now and can't go a morning without, and that is to diffuse essential oils in your living space. Or if you like calming incense, then that could also be a really good idea. Science actually shows that aromatherapy is effective in promoting parasympathetic activation and therefore reduces blood pressure and heart rate. Some of my favorite recommendations are lavender, bergamot, cilantro, frankincense. Rose is really good, but also wild orange can be really nice. So lots of flavors to choose from, and give it a go and experiment with it. Tip number 3 is to put on some nice chill and relaxing and regulating music. Our nervous systems reacts to music. Multiple studies have shown that listening to sedative and relaxed songs or music with a slow tempo leads to a decrease in blood pressure, heart rate, and respiration rate. And this is likely due to the link between our ears, the vagus nerve, and our parasympathetic nervous system. I personally really like listening to binaural beats, or I also sometimes use apps like Endel or Brain FM. Also, a really good regulating playlist is Atmospheric Calm on Spotify. And my recent discovery on YouTube is gentle rain with brown noise combined. That will instantly relax your nervous system, I promise you. Tip number 4, and I know this might not be easy for some of you, but it is to slow down. See if you can give yourself extra time in the morning, if possible. And I know some of you have families and children and lots going on. However, nervous system regulation and healing requires slowness. If you start your day with time pressure and urgency, it sets your nervous system up for dysregulation for the rest of the day. So see if you can slow it down in the morning and take your time to, for example, brush your teeth, to make your breakfast, and to do your morning routine. My next tip might also be quite challenging, but I really invite you to go phone-free for the first hour after you wake up. Now, you can try to leave your phone outside of your bedroom before you go to sleep and get an alarm clock if you need one. Or if you have really good self-control, put your phone on flight mode. But at the very least, don't leave it right next to your bed, but put it further away before you go to sleep. Scrolling on social media or checking our emails upon waking forces the brain to skip the important theta and alpha stages. And it also primes your nervous system for distraction for the rest of your day. Instead, I really encourage you to allow yourself to wake up slowly and adjust to the new day, to check in with your body and take it slow. This is really something that I notice if I don't do it. Every once in a while, I do have to check my phone in the morning, and sometimes I get stuck. And then as I then go about my day, I notice that my brain is already wired for distraction, and I find it much harder to concentrate and focus. It's a real game changer to go an hour or two after waking without even looking at my phone. I personally like to read in the morning and take it easy, but maybe you just want to get up and maybe go for a run or sit down and meditate, which brings me to my next tip, which is to do a breathing and meditation practice. Now, my recommendation would be to sit down for a 10 or 20-minute practice, and you can keep this very simple. Just some nice and easy diaphragmatic breathing, slow breathing, combined with coherence breathing of maybe 5 or 6 or 7 breaths per minute. Maybe you also want to integrate a bit of somatic-based meditation, like a body scan, maybe contact points, or just observing your breath for a while. And at the end of every meditation, I like to ask myself and really feel into, what am I grateful for today? And what would make today great? Now, my next tip might be old news for some of you, but I just have to include it in this video, and that is to go for a walk, if possible, in nature and or exercise early. Now, it doesn't have to be a huge walk. 10 to 30 minutes within about 90 minutes after waking is really effective, because early light exposure will help regulate your natural melatonin cycle. It improves your chances of getting sleepy at the right time of night and actually get a good night's sleep. And generally, movement and exercise is really important to metabolize stress hormones and get your lymph activated. And they help to downregulate our sympathetic fight or flight response and increase endorphins, the happy hormones like dopamine, serotonin, and noradrenaline. I personally like to go for a walk with our dog. I like to go to the gym. I like to just get my body moving. And on the days that I don't do it, I feel it. I'm just not as energized. I'm not as grounded. And so I can highly recommend to get your movement, your walks in the morning. My last tip for you is to exclude and leave out sugar for breakfast. I personally don't eat breakfast. I do intermittent fasting, but if you do eat in the morning, I would recommend you focus on fats and proteins for your first meal of the day. You might also want to substitute your oat milk, if that's what you drink, for an alternative with less sugar. I personally really enjoy cashew milk. And if you struggle with anxiety, it can be a really good idea to get off coffee completely, which I totally get. It's really challenging. I quit once again more than a year ago now, and it's really changed my life and helped me regulate my nervous system even more. Both sugar and coffee put you in an adrenalized state, which is like pouring oil into fire, and therefore really not helpful at all if you're struggling with anxiety. Now, apart from all the mentioned tips, I personally also really like to wake up at the same time every day without an alarm clock, which is usually around 7 or 7:30. I then like to take an hour or so to read a book while drinking my morning beverages. Mornings are really, for me, about taking time to read and to take things very slowly. And then afterwards, I usually go for a nice beach walk with our puppy dog, Tony. She's not a puppy anymore, but she's still super cute. And then I usually go to the gym, and then I go about my day. So I typically don't even start work until about maybe 11 or 12. Sometimes I don't even start after lunch or so. And I totally understand that, we all lead different lives. Some of you might have a full-time job. You have to get up early and go to work. Some of us have just very different lifestyle circumstances. See if you can take maybe just one or two things from this video that you might experiment with and implement into your daily morning routine. The thing with morning routines is we only stick to what we have capacity for. So it's really about optimizing your mornings in baby steps instead of trying to go for the ultimate morning routine ever right away and try to incorporate everything all at once. Try to do it the Atomic Habits way. I highly recommend the book if you haven't read it yet. Start with maybe 5 minutes or just one thing that you try to implement and slowly work your way up. Make it simple, make it rewarding, and make it satisfying. When you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. That way, it's more likely that you actually stick to it. If you want to learn more about daily breathwork and nervous system regulation practices, then check out my Foundations course. I will leave the link to it in the description below the video. And let me know in the comments what morning routine helps your nervous system stay regulated during the day. And I will see you again in the next video. Bye.